I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid.
I don't think there's any issue with a man taking care of another man's child.
What's going on, Passport family? Welcome back to another episode of Men on the Move. Guys, before we get started, go ahead and like and subscribe. That's really going to help me out and get me to a broader audience. Now, guys, without further ado, let's get into this video. Should DNA tests be mandatory?
I think that the United States making DNA testing mandatory is stupid. I don't think that, it's something that if you feel like you need a DNA test, go do that on your own time because you feel that way. I don't think every person, there's millions of people in the United States. Like, it doesn't make sense that people could be using that time to do other things. Like, you could be saving a life. You could be in a hospital saving a life.
I personally pay taxes, and I care about where my money goes. I'm not here to pay for so-and-so because there's a confusion about who's the father. That's not my business. Handle your personal shit. And for me, I want to fund schools. I want to fund the MTA because the trains are never on time. We got bigger problems. We have bigger problems. I'm sorry. I'm not paying for no mandatory test. I don't think there's any...
Traffic is more important than you knowing who the father of the kid is. You see that, Passport family? Traffic is more important than you knowing whether you're the father of your child. That's more important, traffic. Let's get into this, man.
The issue with a man taking care of another man's child. Women do it all the time, whether you know or not. He might bring another child and say, "Oh, I had this out of our wedlock. What are we gonna do?" Or he's taking your money and paying child support to another family. You had no idea. So when we're just like jumping, like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. Hold on, it's already being done.
You could have been doing so many other things with your life. You could have been figuring your life out. I don't know, feeding pigeons. I don't know, doing anything. But you raising a kid that is not yours. I mean, if you had the option to know that was your kid and you wanted to raise that kid, that's perfectly fine. A lot of people do that. But when you don't know, you're doing it out of the obligation or the mindset that this is my child. I'm gonna raise him or her. I'm gonna raise them up. I love them. This is my DNA. This is my blood. And then come to find out that's not your kid.
I mean, in all honesty, I think, with government, potentially passing a law to make DNA like a must, I think it works out for the best for everyone, in all honesty, because for a kid, I think the kid deserves to know who's their real mother and father. And if it's something that we start now, it's something that makes it an easier conversation down the road where it's not necessarily about trust, but it's just something that comes as a part of having a kid. I mean, you've already tested the baby to make sure that it's healthy. Why not test to make sure you understand who the parents are?
So, Passport family, why is this a conversation? I'm going to tell you right now, most women don't want to be held accountable for their action. Most women just want to sleep around, and they don't want to be held accountable for having the baby from a guy who's not interested in being a father to their children. They just don't. And you see, they look for guys who are going to be more responsible later on after they done, bear a child from another man. AKA, let's say I'm Sierra. You feel me? I'm going to have a kid by the guy that I feel is super attractive, by the guy that I feel has the most swag, but he's not going to be a good father for my child. So what do? I seek out a beta male, being Russell Wilson, because I know he's going to be a great father. I know he's going to do, AKA, the right thing and take care of this child. And that's what they do, Passport family. But see, if you make DNA tests mandatory, what are the odds that you as a good man is going to take care of another man's child? More than likely, you're not going to do it. Why? Because it repulses men to have to take care of another man's child. It does, especially once you've been dating a woman and she's unfaithful and you found out that that child that you think is yours is not. That child that you've been spending all this money for Pampers, for clothes, for everything that's needed to take care of a child, or when you're bringing in a child, or when you're getting ready to have a child, or you're paying for all of those things, and you're excited, you're happy, and you come to find out that that's not your child because your woman has been getting her cheeks clapped by another man. Understand, Passport family? Get the test. get the test. I know most men don't want to do it because it brings up a whole nother argument. It just brings up a bunch of crap most men just don't want to deal with because we just want peace. But at the end of the day, you want to get these tests because if you sign that birth certificate, then it's all over for you. It's all over for you. Whether you're the father of the kid or not, if you sign that birth certificate, you're responsible for that child. And you don't want to be on the hook like that. You don't want to imagine taking care of someone's child for all your life, or better yet, for 11 years, like this man did.
What's up is why you've been lying to me for 11 years, telling me that DJ is my real son. Why you been lying to me?
What have I been lying about?
I got a DNA test done.
A DNA saying what?
Saying that he's not my son.
Let me see this DNA test.
You don't need to see it. I saw it.
How DNA test gonna say?
How you gonna be lying to me for 11 years? Why would you do that to me?
Where's the lie?
The lie is you. You are the lie. You have been lying to me for 11 years, having me believe that my son that I've been raising for 11 years is not really my son. Like, how could you do that to me? Like, what can you say for yourself right now?
What made you get a DNA test?
Because I went through your phone.
And why?
Talking about me, laughing and bragging, telling your friends that I have no idea that he's really not my son. So I went and got a DNA test done. Like, you think I'm stupid or something? Like, how could you do this to me?
You see, Passport family, don't let this happen to you. Learn from the thousands of guys' mistakes. I mean, we've all grown up seeing Maury. This is a real thing. You know, people take this as a joke, but it's most definitely not. So unless you are interested in taking care of another man's child, it is important that you understand, no matter how much you don't want to ask that question or tell that woman that she has to get that DNA test, you have to tell her that. You have to tell her that. Even Passport family, if you are out the country, this is something that you want to do. You want to make sure that that kid is yours. Because women take advantage of men's kindness all the time, and they understand that we want peace and we don't want to raise up these arguments. We don't want to have these type of arguments and cause a whole problem of trust in a relationship just because I want you to get a DNA test to make sure that that child is mine, that the child that I'm going to be taking care of for the rest of my life is actually my child, and that you haven't been sleeping around on me, which most women do. It's important to get this test. And yes, it would be a lot better, it would be more efficient if the US decided to make this mandatory, being that if it was a standard procedure, that we wouldn't have to be going through this anyways, and it would just be that. And it would be over and done with. More women would not be moving the way that they are, because they wouldn't be able to take advantage of the situation. But Passport family, tell me what you think, man. Comment down below. Are you willing to take care of another man's child, or do you feel that DNA tests should be mandatory? At the end of the day, Passport family, you know I promote going overseas and finding your love, living a better life, enjoying your life overseas, because I truly believe that that's going to be the better outcome for you. And I believe it minimizes issues like this. It's not a perfect situation, but compared to the US, it's a lot better. So learn a new language, get your passport, and go experience a new culture, and understand that this is not the norm outside of America.
Lame. If it's something that you love and you feel passionate about, chase that by any means necessary. I was told I was lame to be a barber, I'd be stuck in my hometown, but God gave me the vision to see that I could be where I am today.